All right. So, welcome on the podcast. I, to be honest, never expected to start a podcast until you kind of wrote me with this suggestion. And probably people from the title and so on will already know that they're here to see how to add AI assistant in Revit. But before we're going to go into this part, could you just share a little bit about yourself? What is your background, your current role, and just what do you do?
So currently I'm working as assistant information manager at Arup. And talking about my academics, I have done my master's in construction project management with BIM from Labor University. And before that, I completed my bachelor's in civil engineering at Symbiosis Institute of Technology. It was during my undergrad where I developed my interest for construction and technology. So comes very simple that I love construction. It's not that I developed my interest or it's just kind of study to me, but construction is something which I love and I enjoy using technology to enhance the construction industry. So
Hmm.
you can say for me, technology is a tool to beautify what I love.
Hmm. Is it something from the childhood that you love construction, or is it something you picked up later?
From childhood, I can't say from childhood, but yeah, I can say from when I started understanding the buildings. That's like how it is being built, how like that looks very fascinating to me, how these buildings are being built and the planning behind this building or something. So that's kind of thing which I really love. I still remember during my childhood, when my house was being built, I really enjoy going there, spending time with my dad. So yeah, that was something which made me develop my interest in construction.
How did you get involved in Revit in the first place? Is it something you learned in the uni or at the job?
I started using Revit during my undergrad studies, and it was not kind of very much, I would say, from the university, but it was a self-learning journey for me. And I believe self-learning is one of the most powerful thing which
Hmm.
mm, someone can do.
Yes.
Because like if you see what we are being taught, we are not sure that okay, this is what we are learning or something. Sometimes we get confused, or sometimes that is not what interests us. But self-learning is something which comes out of interest, and it is one of the most powerful way of learning. What I feel, as per me.
Mm-hmm. I see. No, I totally agree with you about the self-learning. I had a teacher in the university who always told us that Revit is a very intelligent software, but it's going to be as smart as you are.
Right.
So you have to always kind of come with the right mindset to
That's
this.
definitely
I got lucky with Revit. I just got to uni and they just told us like, oh, okay, download the Revit. This is what we're going to use during the uni. I'm like, okay, whatever. And so I got an easy start.
start is like for me. Start was not that easy. I can't say how the education system in different countries, but for us it was more like books and all. But I was very lucky going to my university, which was Symbiosis, and over there I feel they were not just focused on the books or what you learn from the books. They were more focused on softwares, more focused on what is going on in the world, how you can adapt to those things. So that way I got lucky.
Yeah, I think software is actually very important. Because when we learn so many unnecessary stuff
Yeah.
that you come to the job and they tell you like, forget everything. This is how we do stuff. But the software is actually the first thing you need at the
You
job.
need, right. Right.
So yeah. All right. And well, where does the code come in, right? So you kind of start working in Revit, but what motivated you to actually start coding? Was there any specific challenge or something in Revit that pushed you?
I would say this is kind of my favorite side of story. And COVID pandemic was definitely a tough time for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it became an opportunity to focus on my personal growth because I was interested in coding. Like I had an interest in coding how the games, like as we play games or we use website, kind of Google search, everything we use. But everyone has that small kind of going in our back of mind that what really is going behind this. So I never had the time to pursue it seriously. But during
Mm-hmm.
COVID, I finally took a pledge that okay, now I have the time and now I am going to invest my time for my learning. So I would say in that first 6 months, I completed around 50 to 60 kind of online courses. And over there,
50 to 60.
yeah, online courses. Like I
Okay.
was giving almost 20 hours per day on kind of my self learning. I got free license from my uni for the Coursera. Coursera helped me a lot, and there, I kind of started diving deep into coding and how it goes. And I started with Java, and I still feel I'm very afraid of Java because I was not able to learn Java. It was kind of hard to me. So then professor suggested me go with Python. Then I started with Python, and that took me like I would say around a year to get into it and kind of say that yeah, now I'm good with Python.
All right, so majority of these courses, you started with Java and then you switched to Python. So
Right.
majority of these courses were on Python, right?
Not only on Python because like I was interested. Some of them were on IoT, some of them were on Revit, some of them were on different kind of things. So, but yeah, majority of them were on Python.
And how long did it take for you to see the first results with the code? Because in the beginning, we learned how to print, how to make very simple things. But when was like the first time you actually put it to use to get the result?
Like I still remember the first day when I got that Hello World in Revit print Hello World. So that's kind of a first stepping stone for any coder. But
Yeah.
for a result, I would say um, when I was kind of working with IoT, where I developed small hardware to test the humidity of cement. And then I took it a next step where I kind of developed a tool to check the moisture content and water content of concrete. So over there, that day I felt okay, I can work more with coding, and then I started working in further. Then I kind of worked with safety modules, OpenCV, and all these kind of things.
Mhm.
So that was
Was it something
something.
you did in the uni already at the job? Because you mentioned this IoT, and for people who don't know, it's Internet of Things. It's
Yeah.
pretty much all the smart devices. Where does this come from?
This came out of interest. Like it was not in my job, it was not in my uni, but yeah, it came out of my interest. Two names which I still like, I will mention everywhere. It was two of my professor. One was Saili Sangbor and one was Professor Vaishnavi Dabir. So they were kind of the professor who used to even during my COVID. I still remember whenever I used to text them, okay, I am interested in this bit of the project. So can you help me out with this? And they always helped me out, and with that I was like okay, let's go, let's go
Interesting.
to, yeah.
And then when you come to Revit and decided to put your coding skills in Revit, what was the first sort of win you remember?
It was not just with the Revit. The first thing which I developed was kind of a web-based tool with Speckle. So when the name Speckle come, I would just say that it is kind of something which is going to the future in construction. So that thing
Hmm.
I'm always saying to all my colleagues and everyone that try to put your hands on with Speckle. But yeah, with Speckle I built a web-based tool with where I was fetching the data from Revit and all these kind of things. But still there was a challenge for me that I have to like combine three softwares. First Revit, then take data from Revit to Speckle, and then from Speckle to my dashboard, which I built. That like it was a kind of web-based tool which used to take the data from Revit through Speckle to my dashboard. It was a small dashboard where you get to chat with your data, you get to extract all the data from your
What
Revit and other kind of
was it
stuff.
just for you or was it used company wide?
It was not in the company. It was used with my team at AC Global Teamwork Program at Stanford University. So over there, I got a lot of feedback from my mentors, from my colleagues, how I can improve that, and I kept on working on that. And finally, it was kind of a good platform to interact with the data, to download the data, to filter out the data. If you're not familiar with Revit, you can just like kind of just select the things from the drop down, and you can download whatever you want to from the Revit. So that was thing. But then uh, I I had a understanding of Revit API, but I was not able to configure it because as you remember right now in Revit 2024 you can't just download the API. You have to kind of get the API and save it in a folder. I don't remember the exact process of that.
You mean like SDK to get this CHM file or?
Right.
Okay.
So it was kind of a lengthy process. I was not able to install it. So that's why I switched to this thing. But then after my AC Global Teamwork program, then I thought why not? I had time to like explore other things. So I started exploring Revit API, and it was new to me. So once again, thank you and that your courses were like the first stepping stone for me to get started with Revit API.
Ah, this is amazing. And how long ago was it?
I would say around 3-4 months.
Ah, you're still quite fresh to Revit API.
Yes, definitely. It's just I had a good understanding of Python. That's why it didn't took a lot of time for me to get on it. But yeah, to start with it, it was hard for me to start. But I
Mm-hmm.
can say that I have seen almost all your videos on Revit API.
Oh, big fan here.
And I still have the ebook which you provide, the first video in which we have to download the ebook, and that ebook. I still remember those days. I was reading your ebook and kind of getting started with it. So it helped me a lot. And then I started kind of building small tools, and I always enjoy when I get the result. And
Yeah, this is the best part. What was your first tool?
first tool, as you said, seat one, in which we can name different seat in the Revit. So that was my first tool, which was not my tool, which I just copied your code and tried it out, and I was like, okay, this is the tool which
Yeah,
I created, and I was very happy that
it's like still
okay,
like an artist.
yeah, it feels like okay, I got the tool. I have like that was the first time when I saw something what I made on the ribbon of the Revit. So that was kind
Yeah.
of a big thing for me. Okay, now I am kind of adding something to Revit, adding something to construction industry. But then I was like, I took step back during my AC Global Teamwork program where I had few of the challenges which I took back to my practice, and I started building tools in Revit API. So the first tool
Mm-hmm.
which was kind of meaningful was having changing the name as per the IS code, changing name of the file as per the IS code, changing name of the family, changing name of the
Mm-hmm.
materials as per the IS code or as per the project at once, and making a multiple levels, making grids, and there were different kind of
Mm-hmm.
small tools involved in that.
Yeah, I think it's a good step. Whoever is coming to Revit API, pyRevit, starting with small tools is best because first of all, you break the false belief. Because
Right.
people think that Revit APIs, it's impossible. It takes like years to learn and this and that. But once they start making small tools, they're like, oh, I just made something. I made more. And over time, you're going to get addicted. In my case, I got to the point where no matter what task I got in the office, the first thing in my mind, I was like, okay, how can I do it with the Revit API? It can be a very simple task that will take, I
Right.
don't know, maybe half an hour manually, but I will spend like 2 hours. No, I'm going to do it with the Revit API. I don't care. Like, I need to find a way. Yeah. And, over time, you reach the point where this skill is actually kind of finally starts to save you a lot of time. You're automating. And was there anything that you did with Revit API that wasn't possible manually? Or it would take you so much time that it just doesn't make any sense to do it manually.
Um, that was about kind of naming the
Yeah.
families and all these things. Because if generally in a big project we have multiple families we are using, we have multiple seats, we have multiple kind of materials, building materials, and everything. So it
Mm-hmm.
takes hours and hours to name them. But
Yeah, true.
with this, like I was able to name all of them in a go. Like in just one click, I have to like set the standards. Okay, this is going to be
Mm-hmm.
prefix, this is going to be suffix, this is going to be the project
Yeah.
name, this is going to be this, and this. And so one click you can get the changes, you can see the changes. So that is one thing which I feel was a lot of time saving apart from the
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT integration.
And what motivated you finally add ChatGPT to Revit? Was there any specific problem you tried to solve, or was it just kind of for fun? You want to take AI, put in Revit, and see what happens?
It was kind of a mixed approach because right now in this era, I feel if you don't use AI, if you don't use ChatGPT, you are lacking behind a bit. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever I was
Definitely.
building something, whenever I'm doing something, so it took me time to go on the Google or go on ChatGPT and search for those things and get back to Revit and then make that thing. So that used to take time. So that was the first kind of approach for me to get ChatGPT, get AI in Revit. And the second thing was whenever you are working in Revit, you have a lot of data. Like in construction, the main thing is the size of data. It's a big size of data. The data size is huge,
Oh, yeah.
and over there, I felt that if we can like import our PDF or these kind of documents, and then we can chat with them. Right now, we have multiple AI softwares. You can even upload your document to ChatGPT and kind of ask questions around them. So that thing was one of my motivation to integrate ChatGPT, because that was my second add-on to Revit, in which you can chat with the data you have in Revit. Like whatever you are building, you can chat with that. Okay, what is the total area of? I'll show you when we jump on to the demo phase. So that is something like you can literally have a interaction with the Revit. How many columns are there? How many beams? What is the maximum length of the column? So that kind of thing.
So you wanted to make it like context aware inside of Revit, instead of saying like, "Hey, I have a big project, it's high rise," and like describe everything with text. They just can see the database, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Because in the end of the day, Revit
Right,
project is just a
definitely.
database of elements where all the information stored and so on. It can be tricky to get everything out like in a concise manner, but I think with AI that actually can be a lot easier than would be otherwise. Do you want to just jump into
Okay.
demonstration, show us what you got,
Okay. Sure.
and then we can talk about this?
Okay. So this is kind of my first Revit add-in, as I just said, that kind of create add levels, add volume, total length, total volume, download the data from Revit, download selected data, and these kind of things. So this was the first add-on which I developed. And coming to the integration, so as this is the kind of integration where Ask Revit is a platform where you can just talk with AI. It's kind of a small chat GPT in Revit. And Model Mind was the platform where you can interact with the data in the Revit. So these both are kind of the for now I've just separated them so that we can so that I have a clear understanding what I need to add more to this. But yeah, these both can be integrated, and this is the link to my BIM platform, which the web-based tool, which is hosted with Streamlit. So here you can see it's kind of with speckle token. You can get this speckle token and then extract all the data, whatever data you want to chat with, or these kind of things. And the main thing which made me use OpenAI with Revit was this platform where you can upload the document, where you can kind of once you have the data set from Revit or other kind of documents, you can just upload it here and chat with the data set.
So you create like knowledge base inside of the Streamlit, and then you
Yeah,
can connect it to ChatGPT.
right,
Does it use
exactly.
the latest OpenAI models, like this 4, what is it, 01, 4.0,
This is 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's a bit older.
yeah. So this is using 3.5, and then you have view model. You can view the model over here. Then you have some kind of
All right, so you go to Revit, you're gonna export all your projects to Speckle, and then with the
yeah,
Streamlit, you can access all the data via the Speckle, and you can
right,
chat about it, what's going on, where it is, and how it
exactly.
works.
So here, if you go to
All right.
if you select the model, you can
So the
kind of
stream is different uploads, or is it
yeah,
different projects?
different
Okay.
projects. And here you can kind of check the model. You can go deep inside the model. You can select different elements,
Mm-hmm.
and
And if I remember correctly, when you view this model, this is not an IFC. This is kind of built up by Speckle database, right?
yeah,
This is a separate thing.
yeah, separate thing. This is coming from Speckle.
Mm-hmm.
So you can check what it is and kind of other things. And then you have the okay, yeah, the chat page is also kind of similar thing, but here I used to like, as I am extracting the data from Revit API, which is kind of more easy now. So this is also kind of same thing. I'll just run through this. Yeah. So then you can select whatever subcategory you want to export from, and then you can select the parameters. Like if I just want to select category, export as glue, manufacturer, mark, whatever it is, and then you run.
Mm-hmm.
So takes a bit of yeah. So here the data you can download it as CSV, all this kind of thing, and then again over here also I integrated ChatGPT where you can again interact with the data set, like what is the maximum use material, or who is the manufacturer of this particular material or these kind of things. So
Uh, is this query only based on your filters right now? Because you said that you want
yeah,
to see category. So
yeah,
first you select all the parameters, and then you can chat about whatever is shown up in this little database,
yeah,
in this
actually.
table.
So yeah, this was kind of the thing. And then if we
And
go back, yeah.
before gonna go further, can you just give us a little explain what is a Streamlit for people? Because I
Okay.
knew a little bit about it, but I'm also very new to this.
So
Just
Streamlit is kind of a Python framework in which you have predefined front-end materials. So you have predefined kind of pages, you have predefined boxes. If you can to build the same page with HTML or CSS, and you have different other languages, so that takes a lot of time to define each of the boxes. But with Streamlit, you can directly import different boxes. You can import the page. You can import the kind of pre-made. It, I would say, in a normal term, it's kind of a pre-built template from where you can kind of export different things, export different materials, and you can make a page. So yeah, this all these things are developed by the Streamlit, which is kind of
I see.
it's very easy, and also it has a separate template to integrate the OpenAI with Python, so that makes it more easy.
And kind of general overview, if somebody is watching this right now and they think, oh, I want to build something like this, could you just kind of break it into steps? Okay, first they go to the Streamlit, they probably make an account, and what are the steps, this kind of general ones?
Okay,
Just kind of
so
paint a picture of the
yeah,
how complicated it is.
okay,
Let's say
so
this.
I would say if you know Python, then it's literally nothing. You just need to go to the documentation, read kind of what kind of box you want to import, or what kind of parameter you want to import, what kind of background do you want. So you can just go and read the documentation, and then you come back to the Python, you import Streamlit, and then you start with it. But to host, then when it comes to the hosting part, because right now, as you can see, it's kind of a bit slow. It's because it's a free hosting on Streamlit. So once you want to host it, once you are done with everything, then you just go upload the project on GitHub, and then you can create an account on Streamlit, and you connect both Streamlit and your GitHub page. So once you're connected, then you can directly select the name of the project, name of the page, and then it takes like 5 to 10 minutes to get everything started. So once everything started, then you're ready to host it. But yeah, while developing also, you have you have the general kind of how you develop on HTML, CSS. You have a general preview. You can keep on previewing. You can keep on checking what's going on, and that way you have your page ready. So
Got it.
with Streamlit, I would say it takes like less than an hour to kind of build these kind of pages. And also now you have chat GPT and other kind of stuff, so with that it takes less than an hour to properly have these pages.
Yeah, perfect. And do you know about the privacy when you use, for example, these projects that you created? How private is your data regarding like what you take from Revit? Is it somehow open to the Streamlit or?
It's not open to Streamlit, or it's not open to even Speckle, because you have for the security, I feel you have the Speckle token. If you have not shared your Speckle token, then no one is going to see your Speckle token. And about the second part, which I really liked about Streamlit, when I was uploading my project, and by mistake I left one of the Speckle token which I was using for the testing phase. I left it over there only. So they stopped the kind of hosting, and they asked me to change that part of the code. So
Oh, that's great.
that thing I really liked about, that is one of the best thing about Streamlit, that you can
I see.
they literally pop up if there is something wrong going on in your project.
There's a funny thing about the tokens on the GitHub. When people were testing ChatGPT, they were
Hmm.
just putting something like, I don't know, OpenAI key,
Hmm.
and then AI made an auto suggestion for somebody's keys from the GitHub because AI was trained on it, and it
Yeah.
saw like, oh, somebody used this one as the kind of continuation to what you wrote. So maybe you want to use this token, and some people like found it really funny.
That's a lot of problem, like but now even on GitHub, if you're sharing the uh, your OpenAI key or some key, then they give you a pop-up that you're sharing your personal information, so do you want to
Yeah, yeah,
continue
yeah.
or you want to
I
stop?
think they learned their lesson.
Yeah, so now it's kind of fine. But yeah,
Yeah,
every time technology has some kind of backfires, but that gets good with the time. So that's
yeah,
what I feel.
definitely. All right. So now
Yeah.
we're going finally to the assistant.
Okay. So this is just the kind of page where you can, if I just want to.
All right. Show us
So
some magic.
if I just, this is same. This is a smaller version of ChatGPT in Revit. If I just want to ask,
So, what is the maximum height of the door as per Indian standards?
yeah. So as you can see, as per the National Building Code, it's giving a kind of
Mm-hmm. So it kind of pulls up whatever it finds in the.
in the database. Yeah. So this basically works kind of in a way I can say that uh, I will definitely show it in the code also, kind of overview that how it takes the how it takes the query from the Revit and then it takes to the to Python 3 where I have kept my ChatGPT and then it uses a sub-processor to connect Python 2 and Python 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also kind of something which I would like to highlight further in the
Yeah, we're
podcast.
gonna go
So yeah,
into this nitty and gritty
yeah,
stuff a bit later.
yeah,
But for now, can you kind of communicate with ChatGPT about your model? If you're gonna ask how many
yeah.
columns you have and so
Okay.
on.
So this was the AskRev, which was a small ChatGPT, and again the Mind model, which is
Okay, so
so
it's
these
kind
are
of
two
keeps
different.
leveling up. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
So the previous one was just regular ChatGPT, right? It's similar
right,
to what you speak online version, like, hey, how are you doing? Just
exactly.
give me some
Yeah,
code, whatever. It gives you this. And
yeah,
this is already with integration into Revit.
yeah. So if I kind of ask,
How many structural elements are in the model?
1989 structure elements in the model.
All right. So how many columns are there?
So there are
Right.
total
Mm-hmm.
1239
And
structural columns in the Revit model.
was this one, how precise is it? Did you test? Because when
Yeah,
you ask it, let's say that it's 1,200, pretty nice
it
columns.
is kind of, I would say, I'm kind of 100% sure because I have tested with the download selected function in this, like where I have downloaded the number of columns and then I have rechecked them, how many columns are there.
Okay, so you verify the data to make sure it's correct.
Right, definitely.
Because with AI, for some reason, even though it's so smart and amazing in many features, it's not so great at counting things
Yeah,
somehow.
definitely.
Can you ask it to categorize these structural elements? I just wonder what kind of results you're going to get.
I can try.
And just a thing in here, we can just try to make a bit more examples just to
Yeah.
show people what's possible. So, how many types of columns are there in the model?
Oh,
There are a total of.
that is kind of bit off answer. I don't know why. But let me.
Don't worry. We've all been
Option.
there when we ask a question and it just goes completely different
Yeah.
direction. Okay, so
So
pretty
yeah.
much it's too lazy to do it. It tells you to do it for it.
Yeah, because I feel for this you need a proper model also. I'm not sure about the model, kind of how perfect the model is because I
Mm-hmm.
just had this model for the testing phase. So I'm not sure about
I
how
see.
perfect the model is, but yeah. Um, there are few of these kind of complications in this kind of things, but this will take time to improvise because this needs a lot of testing and then you need to go for that. So yeah, this is also one kind of example which is there for the technology that why the training needs to be done with the why we need to provide some training to the to
Mm-hmm.
AI. So yeah, this is one of the
I see.
example which is definitely there.
No, that's fine. I just wonder, can you show us some more examples? I just want just
Um,
something different, how you use it. Kind
okay.
of. I just wonder how much can you get out of it because you brought the ChatGPT into Revit. And it already sounds amazing, but I just wonder what are the real use cases.
Okay. Let me.
No pressure.
I have not tested it like in so depth, but we can try like
So what are the different types of walls used in the model?
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
based on the data, so what's the maximum width of the walls?
This was answered in the video which I uploaded on the LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know why it is.
Yeah. So now it doesn't want to
Yeah,
communicate
let me
well.
just
I
try it
see.
again.
So what's the maximum width
Now it's
of
giving.
the wall in the model?
So now it's giving correct, and same question it didn't answer over here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I think it needs to be very, very descriptive, right?
yeah,
So when you just tell
sometime
what's the maximum width of the wall, it doesn't think about your model. First of all, it just thinks like, well, maybe in the world.
um there's one more thing which I feel is there that if we talk about the natural language processing, then it needs to be a bit particular at this point of time. Uh, and with ChatGPT, it goes like it takes multiple synonyms with the same word. So that might also be a kind of point where it needs a bit of work.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel but I feel, yeah, I feel that there are multiple works which we need to do, because if you see in Revit, we generally describe a height, and some places we say same thing as width. So for those kind of things, we need to train the model. We need to fine tune the model. Okay, if these kind
Mm-hmm.
of words come, then this is going to be what it means as per the data set, because at the end of the day, it is taking the data from the data set, like it is taking the data from the Revit data set. So we need to kind of bit do the fine tuning of the model. So yeah, that is something which I feel is still there, we need to
Yeah,
perform.
I think it's still quite amazing that you already brought OpenAI into Revit. It certainly opens a lot of ideas.
Yeah,
Even everyone watching here now, sitting there like, oh, I could use it for this or for that. I think
right.
that's quite cool. Can it execute any code, or is it only for kind of communicating about the data right now?
Like I
If
saw
you
it.
like write something like, can you create a wall? Can it execute something in your models?
No, I have not given
So
that
this is the
capability
next step.
here. Yeah, this
Okay, yeah, I see.
uh that's a good idea. I thought about it, but as I've seen in some of your videos also, that about the creation, but I feel that creating uh something is not what capability we need to give it to AI, because that again comes up with the imagination what you have. And if we just give a line that, okay, I need to create this wall and these kind of things, then still we are losing a point where we need to give our imagination. We need to get our imagination to work. So that's why I feel that that is something which.
For something like creating, that's right. But I mean, like, for example, let's say that you're right. Okay, find me these kind of walls with these parameters and change the comments parameter, right?
Yeah,
It's just about the ability to let it make changes in the model based on the input.
yeah, that can be definitely done.
Yeah, yeah, so many people done it. That Beam girl recently made also a video describing how they did it in C sharp. I think hers could make changes, if I remember it correctly.
uh the main thing is, right now, once you get to have your kind of your language to the model, then you just need to add those to the creation tools. So I think that's I've not seen what you're talking about, but that
Mm-hmm.
would definitely be a good thing. I'll definitely have a look to that. But yeah, I've
Mm-hmm.
not tried that yet.
She just posted it recently. I haven't watched the full video myself, but I saw just the idea that, okay, this works.
That's the thing. That's what I feel, that slowly it is going to come into play, because uh, right now everyone is just working their bit on different kinds of project. But I feel once if we all get at a place to work on something, then I think it's going to be possible for us to kind of get what we want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see.
Because as you see in right now, as you see on GitHub, as you see on other kind of places, that different people collaborate in building a game or some kind of website or something like that. But we still need, in construction industry, we still need a platform where we can collaborate with people like us to, okay, let's collaborate and build something like this. We can set our ideas, and then we can build something, which I feel is one of the next step which is important in construction. And definitely I'm going to start kind of soon with that kind of thing.
becoming more and more open source. People are willing more to share. Because back like 5, 10 years ago, people were holding a lot on what their creations. They didn't, I think, let it out as much as today. Today, people kind of normalize more the open AI. Even
Uh,
like companies like Meta, they spend like huge millions on training all these AI models, and then they just tell like, here, do whatever, right? All this llama,
yeah,
7 billion, what is it, 30 million, 400 billion, all these crazy models just for free.
right.
And yeah, this is great direction we're going.
But but definitely there is one thing which is stopping it in the construction industry, because construction industry is all about how secure your data is. No one wants to
Yeah,
share
definitely.
their data set. No one wants to share their plan. No one wants to like these kind of things. So that's one thing which is taking us a step back in the evolving technologies.
Yeah, for sure. All right. And could you also tell us how your this kind of AI assistant actually works? Where does pyRevit come in? OpenAI integration? Like, just we can start with the general overview of all the steps that go in, and then we can dive deeper in the code if you're
Okay.
okay with that.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
like,
definitely fine. I'm definitely going to send you the code, and then you can kind of make a proper video to work with it. I'll just share my screen. The main thing which I'll mainly try to talk about in this is how I have integrated like Python 2 and Python 3 with the use of subprocessor. So as you can see, I have kind of given a path to the Python 3, which is
mm-hmm.
in different folder. Again, I have created a virtual environment for that Python 3, and this is the path for the code where my server for the Python for OpenAI is working. So here is
So this is the
the
Python 3 script,
yeah,
this one.
right. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here this is kind of just a normal import of normal execution of the code for Python server. We have just taken the OpenAPI key, and then I have made a function for the ask question function where it takes the question as the input, and then
Mm-hmm.
I have used GPT 3.5 Turbo, and these are kind of the maximum token. And then
How much does it cost to run like a question? Oh, 3.5,
um,
is it free or
this is kind of, I would say, almost free. It's that's why I'm using 3.5, because
it's like pennies, right?
yeah, because
Yeah.
we don't have that much of data right now, and I was in the testing phase, so that's why I have like used 3.5. But yeah, definitely you can go with GPT-4 or anything you have. Once you've created all the model, then I have just kind of made a function. As you have seen that the we are not getting the answer for some of these things. This is for the error handling. And coming back to the code here, I'm just like taking the this is code for the model extraction. Here I've extracted that data from the model, and then with that data is again sent to GPT, where
Mm.
we have been interacting with the model. And
So
for
GPT, sorry, so
yeah,
GPT only is aware about this data that you provided. If you're gonna go back,
yeah,
just where we were,
right
so
now it's just aware of these
so you only
data.
provide this kind of ID, category, name,
Yeah,
volume, area,
yeah.
material. It doesn't know anything else about materials. It cannot kind of look into them.
I have I have one more file. I will try to find that. In that, I have imported all the other materials, but right now I have given the material
Mm-hmm.
ID, which I felt like for the testing phase was enough. So, but yeah, definitely we can
Mm-hmm.
work with
So you're kind of manually getting kind of all the things.
yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
we can definitely go with other IDs, other materials, and there is a basically a as we know, there's a big list
Mm-hmm.
of the data we can get from the ChatGPT. So once we get the data, then data is sent, and again we are taking the questions from there. And here I have kind of given the like as I said, I'm not very much sure about this part. Um, this is kind of integration with the front end and the back end. Like here is the front end part.
This
Yeah,
VPF.
yeah, so this is the front end part. So this was the part where we were interacting with the model and taking into a shorter version. This is the same kind of thing, but here I just have used the kind of uh, a bridge to connect the ChatGPT, which is again here, which is running on Python 3, and this is on Iron Python. So yeah, this is I think this is one thing which Revit API developers must need to think that they need to get on Python 3, because right now I don't feel everyone is
Mm-hmm.
very much comfortable with Python, Iron Python, because that is something which was used like 10, 12 years back. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is something which definitely um the Iron Python needs to think.
Yeah, I think it's on the roadmap to implement kind of. There is Iron Python 3.4.4 version.
Mhm.
It's not supported by pyRevit yet, but maybe that would be able to support some of it. I don't know.
No, I think in that also some of the libraries doesn't work.
Yeah, true.
I think Panda also doesn't work with that.
I
So
mean, you can make it work with CPython, but it limits a lot of things.
lot
First
of
of all,
things.
like VPF XAML, it stops working because you go to with CPython and it needs
Right.
Iron Python, and that's a big topic in the community. People really want to
Definitely.
use NumPy, Pandas, maybe I don't know some other libraries. I tested a little bit. For me, I did not need Pandas as much, so I was quite lucky. I didn't need to dive into, but I just dived once for the community to show, okay, this is how CPython works, but it tells you maybe in 10 different places that it's not as stable yet in pyRevit, and hopefully in the future it kind of becomes more stable, but I think it needs kind of more support from the community in terms of like kind of donations and stuff to actually hire developers to make it happen.
But what I feel is like with
Mm,
sub processor, I think we can use all these kind of things, because
yeah.
we are kind of doing the same stuff in Python 3, but we are just bringing those data to CPython. So this is something
Yeah.
which
Subprocessor
yeah,
seems much safer, much more stable option.
right,
The only thing is if you share it kind of worldwide, it might be tricky because you need to kind of ship the Python engine as well.
right.
That's the tricky part. But that's probably something for Parity team maybe to
But
implement in the future.
that's also a challenge, that once I go for kind of making it public or going to deploy it, then it's going to be a challenge for me. I was trying to do that, but it's going to take some time to deploy it, because there you have to again build two different servers. So yeah, that's definitely a challenge with sub-processor. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel that's more easy, more safe, and gives more opportunity to the developers to work with that.
Listen, if somebody wants to kind of adapt this code that you just showed for their own projects, what are the first steps that you would recommend? Where should they focus more, right?
Um, for this, I would first thing I would say is like having a basic understanding of Python, like what is function,
Yeah,
what is
definitely.
how to import libraries, how to uh, uh like use different kinds of inbuilt function, how to make functions. So these kind of things is the basic thing which anyone wants to needs to have. And the second
Mm-hmm.
thing which I will say to everyone, don't be like if the code is not running, don't be like, oh my god, I have wasted my 3 months on learning coding and now my code is not working. That's never a thing.
It's part of the journey.
It's part of journey. And right now we have AI, we have ChatGPT, we have Gemini, we have multiple things. At my point of time when I was learning, the error which I used to have, then I have to go to Stack Overflow, then I have to go like different kinds of platform to read all those, and it took it used to take days to solve one small error. But now you
Yeah,
have
it's.
these kind of, you just need to give the error, you just need to give the code, and then you can get the solution. So just keep on working on
Mm-hmm.
the small things. Just even if you, even as I said, that the hello world makes a big difference. So just
Yeah,
keep
the
on
first one.
doing like hello world, next day your name, next day something else. So keep on doing a little bit. Don't be like in a rush to do everything in a day. Give it a slow run, and I think it's going to be easy. And for this code, I feel I'm going to uh, give you the GitHub link
Mm-hmm.
where people can
Yeah, that'd be great.
use
I'm
that.
gonna share it with everybody.
Yeah. So I think that will also help with them. And also I'll share you the GitHub link for the chatbot if someone wants to explore the Streamlit and
Mm-hmm. That would be
um,
great.
speckle thing with if someone wants to build a dashboard. So yeah, I'm definitely going to share both of this. But
Mm-hmm.
for and you
Yeah,
are there, and you also I think you must remember I gave you a question in the chat that I'm trying to use Python 3 with Python 2. So how can
Mhm.
I do that? So you are there. If someone wants to contact me, I'm definitely there. I'm also working with some of the people who contacted me with
Mhm.
within
I'm
LinkedIn.
gonna leave a links to you somewhere in
Yeah.
description. Also, you
So
can mention now
yeah,
or in the end. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
But
But
if some,
definitely you are there. So I think your videos are much more self-explained. I don't think they will need much of me. But yeah, if in future someone needs that.
yeah, it's still too good to chat with you. What was your journey? And before gonna go further, I also wanna talk about this. What you said earlier that nowadays people learn with ChatGPT and it's so much easier. Because I literally remember like when I started, we had no ChatGPT, and I was new to Revit API. I literally spent like a couple days on a very stupid like question mistake. I literally like lots of evenings. I read all the forums, videos. Finally, I found it, and it was maybe one line of code. I was literally struggling for days for one line of code, which is now I look at it, I'm like, oh my god, now we can even go to like different forums. Now people more open to sharing. Now it's much easier. Back then, it was not as fun as today. Just
Yes,
wanna like encourage a few people to actually kind of trust the process.
that's definitely a thing.
Have you had any challenges while you were building these kind of AI chatbots?
A lot.
All right. Any advices how to avoid them?
Uh, I will say don't avoid your challenges. Don't avoid
Mm-hmm.
these challenges, because these challenges will give you uh, a number of ways how you can how you can like change working on that. Because if I give you a solution that sometime may not work, but to find the solution by your own for that challenge, you will find multiple ways which can be very beneficial to you. And in that journey of finding the solution, sometime you learn many more things of
Mm-hmm.
how these things can be done.
Yeah.
But definitely, one advice which I would give is like, if you're just starting with pyRevit, don't go for something big. Start with small things. Start with
Oh yeah.
small tools. Start with the kind of what you see. Start building that by your own. Start adding your own logic to
Mm-hmm.
the code. So start doing that, and then slowly go for the next step. And if you're just starting, use ChatGPT, but don't just rely on that, because you need to have the basic understanding even if you want to build something big. You can use
Yeah.
ChatGPT to build whatever you want to, but that understanding needs to be there.
This is really good advice, and I definitely guilty of doing that myself. When I started, I made my like first maybe two, three very simple scripts, and then the next one I decided, all right, you know what? I'm gonna make something like ProSheets. I don't know anything about like how to make custom UIs. I don't know how to make PDFs. I don't know. I pretty much barely know anything about like coding in general. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna like make this crazy big tool. I spent like I don't know, so maybe like a week on doing this, and then I realized, what am I even doing? I don't know half of what I'm just doing it, because there's like there are errors on all fronts, like UI, back end, front end, like everywhere. Then I kind of dialed it down. Started also doing like you mentioned like all these simple tools, and this is what also builds up your confidence. And you
Right.
just keep doing. Then at certain point you're like, okay, I want to challenge myself. I'm gonna go next level and see
Yeah.
if I can get there, and like the next level. And then over time you realize like, oh, the way you kind of get to here is just kind of step by step. You're
Right.
not like taking like an elevator all the way up there.
Definitely. As I just showed you in just one this add-in where I just started with normal integration of ChatGPT and Revit, like where I can just interact with ChatGPT. And then in the next add-in, I integrated the data set. So definitely go slow, take step by step. Like don't be in a rush. That's the first thing which I always say, because we are not in kind of proper uh, coding job. We are not. We have not studied the computer science or something like that, AI/ML. So we have to kind of keep on learning and then using that thing. So it will take time, but once you start working on that, once you have that confidence to start with it, then there's a lot of things in coming for you.
Yeah, definitely. Even people who go and study computer science, I still hear from them that the best way to kind of actually learn something is actually start doing. It's great that you go to this kind of lesson, hear how computers work, code, and all exercises. Definitely gives an edge, but in the end of the day, even they say like, okay, you need to start your own personal project. You need to start your own kind of things. It's like this is how you learn in general. You get mistakes, you solve them, you move to the next ones, and repeat.
Definitely, personal projects are one of the biggest thing for learning.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just keep on doing the courses, or you can't just go to uni or something like that. That's not going to give you a lot until you keep on doing small projects. Keep that also challenges your thinking, because uh, I still remember the days when I was stuck. Like I didn't had anything to do. Like I was be struggling. What new to do? What new? Because I'm someone who keeps on trying to find something which I can keep on doing. I can keep on doing. So sometimes you struggle. You will not have a lot of things to start with. Give it a time. Give it a go. Then you will start. You will start getting something. Read some of the documentation, forums, and all these kind of things. Slowly you will get something what you need to start with. But yeah, definitely give it a time. Don't be in a rush. That's the only thing I always say to my colleagues also. Don't be in a rush. Give it a time.
Mm-hmm.
If you get stuck, leave it for some time. Give yourself some time, and then you will have something big.
Oh yeah, best ideas come in shower, right?
Yeah.
All
That-
right. No, this is good. And just in general, where do you see this AI going? Like, how does it influence the future of Revit and Beam in general? Do you have any opinions on that?
about the normal AI, I would say I am a big fan of Elon Musk. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely going to agree with his point that AI is one of the big most dangerous thing if we don't do it. Like if we don't take care of that, it's one of the biggest danger to us. But yeah, if we use it properly, then it is one of the biggest thing what we have right now. And the second thing, which again I will say, in today's generation, if you are not if you're just using AI, you are ahead of many people. But if you start developing with AI, then you are ahead of
Mm,
many people. So
okay.
not just start using it, start developing something with it. So that's the most important thing right now.
Mm-hmm. That's a good advice because everybody keeps hearing this quote like, "Oh, yeah, it's not going to replace it," but people using AI is going to replace us.
Yeah,
But now there's also the next step: people who actually develop with AI, they're going to replace all of it.
exactly.
So yeah, there's always this kind of next level where we go. No, this is a good thing.
Because
All
right
right.
now you see there I don't remember some of the website name, but there are some of the website which made the work of the architect a lot easy, where you can just add the images of from your Revit. You can add the images which you want to render, and then you can give some of the examples of how you want it to be. Like
Oh, the Vega,
yeah,
I think Vegas AI. I know
I don't
Evolve Lab made something like this. I don't know. I think Vegas AI.
I don't know, I also don't remember the name, but yeah, there are some of the softwares which are there, some of the websites where it takes like a minute or two to render the whole of the uh, thing what you want to render, and which generally take like 3-4
Mm-hmm.
hours. A good laptop, a good PC to
Oh yeah,
render it.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's called Vegas. I just quickly looked it up just to make sure. So it's Vegas AI by Evolve Lab. This was is pretty cool because it just takes the general shape of what you see in the screen and then makes all these AI images based on that. This is a cool one.
Uh, I will definitely say collaboration is something what we need in the construction industry right now. We need a platform where we can collaborate. It's not about where as we have different platform for other kind of department, other kind of things. But for us, we definitely need that one platform where we can collaborate, and then we'll definitely have some big things coming up in the future.
All right, and I have also, I guess, one last question. What is number one advice that you would give to somebody new to coding? For example, to yourself right after you wrote that print hello world.
Um, I think I will say is like, never let that spark go from you. Always
Mm,
keep that spark. That I never lose my control over myself. That if I've not done this, that like I'm not able to develop this. It's taking so much. I'm literally saying you. I literally spent 4 or 5 days to just go off one small error. Give
mm-hmm.
it a time. Don't be in a rush that okay, I have to do this in a day or two. Don't be in a rush, and don't go for big things in very first month or very second month.
Yeah,
Give it your
definitely.
time. Give it a time. It will take some time, but with time it will definitely give big results. But don't be in a rush, and don't start with big things. Start small, then you will get what you
Mm-hmm.
want.
Okay, it goes back to this kind of start small and
Yeah,
kind of one step at a time.
yeah.
No, this is a really good one. All right, and just for people watching us, can you also tell them where they can follow you, where they can find your work, what you're up to? Just kind of share your socials, where you're active.
I'm mainly active on LinkedIn.
Okay.
for my like
So it's
works. I keep
Ashish
on.
Ranjan, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'll
write it somewhere in the screen.
So I'm active there. If there is something which I can help with, I'm definitely open for that. Anytime you can come up to me, and I'll try to help however I can. So yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, thank you very much for coming here today. This was really amazing, and just that you decided to come here and share all of that. Because in the beginning, I saw your post. It was like huge post, like message on LinkedIn. You wrote like, "Hey, Eric," and then I was like, I want to share this code. I want to send it to you, and so on. And I decided, man, I actually gotta bring you for the podcast. I also didn't expect to start a podcast, so you are the first guest out of nowhere, and so this is also new to me. So thank you for pushing me to do this as well.
No, I the main thing is I'm very kind of camera shy person. I don't want to speak in front of the camera. So that's one thing why I was like, I'll just share the code, and because I feel
Mm-hmm.
we just need to give what we got from somewhere. So I got a lot from YouTube. I got a lot from creators like you. So now just feel like whatever I have, I can give, I can pass on to people who wants to start it in future. So yeah, that's is one thing which I always feel doing.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's pretty much why I started doing what I do. I also, all right,
Yeah.
not enough people sharing it, so maybe I can start sharing and one thing after another. Maybe you're gonna be the next YouTuber, something. No, but I think Revit community will absolutely love this, and huge thanks as well again
No,
for coming here, pushing me in to this
no,
podcast.
thank you for having me here, and thank you very much.
That was amazing. Thank you.